The day my child died, the world didn't shatter, kept going without him. The sun rose. People talked. Life moved forward like nothing had happened. But inside me, time stopped. I learned how loud silence could be. I learned how heavy a breath could feel. I held his clothes and smelled yesterday. I asked God a question I was afraid to ask. I waited for an answer that didn't come right away. Grief tried to steal everything I had left, but it could not steal my faith. My name is Rebecca. Before loss, I measured life in ordinary moments: school drop-offs, scraped knees, bedtime stories. My son Daniel was the kind of child who filled rooms without trying. He laughed easily, asked endless questions, and believed tomorrow would always be good. I believed it too. The phone call came on an afternoon that felt no different from any other. I remember the sound of my own voice saying, "I'll be right there," before I understood why. I remember driving without remembering the road. I remember standing in a room that smelled like antiseptic and disbelief. I remember being told words that didn't belong together. Your child is gone. In that instant, motherhood changed forever. Love didn't disappear, but its shape did. It became pain. It became longing. It became the ache of reaching for someone who would never answer again. The long night of grief is not loud at first. It arrives quietly, like fog. Friends came with casseroles and condolences. They hugged me tightly and spoke gently, as if volume might break me. They said things meant to help. I nodded and thanked them. Then the door closed, and the house exhaled into emptiness. Daniel's room stayed the same, his shoes by the door, his drawings taped to the wall, his bed made, waiting for a boy who would never come back. Nights were the hardest. I lay awake listening for footsteps I knew would never arrive. My mind replayed moments I wished I could relive, every hug I didn't give. Every time I said later, I prayed, but my prayers felt fragile. God, I whispered, I don't know how to do this. When faith was steady, had believed in God my whole life. I had taught my son to pray. I had sung hymns while washing dishes. I had trusted that God was good even when life was not easy. But this was different. This wasn't inconvenience. This wasn't disappointment. This was unbearable. I wanted answers. I wanted reasons. I wanted God to explain himself. He didn't, at least. Not the way I expected. There were days I felt angry. Days I questioned everything. Days I wondered if faith was something people leaned on only until it failed them. But every time I thought about walking away, something stopped me. Not certainty, presence. The moment of PAC one afternoon, months after Daniel's death, I sat in a park watching children play. For the first time, it didn't hurt the way it used to. I missed my son, but I wasn't drowning. I felt a calm I hadn't felt since before the losser. Gentle assurance that love doesn't end with death. That faith doesn't crumble under grief. And that God was still writing my story. I realized something profound. Faith didn't mean pretending everything was okay. Faith meant trusting God, even when everything was not. A new kind of HAPP, ironess, soppiness, returned. Differently than before. It wasn't loud or carefree, it was deep. I found joy in purpose, peace in prayer, hope in eternity. I spoke openly about my son, about his kindness, his laughter, his life. I no longer felt the need to hide my tears. They became a testament to love, not weakness. God didn't take away my grief. He carried it with me. What I know now, I still miss my child every day. That will never change. But I am not broken. I am not abandoned, and I am not without hope. God did not ask me to forget my son. He asked me to trust him with my heart, and I did. Closing message, perfect for YouTube ending. If you have lost someone you love, if grief has shaken your faith, if you are afraid of losing both, hear this. You can lose everything and still hold on to God. Faith does not deny pain. It walks through it. And when you refuse to let grief steal your faith, you may discover a joy deeper than sorrow and a hope stronger than death. The choice no inside one SAW1 morning, exhausted from crying. I stood in Daniel's doorway and realized something painful and true. I could lose my child and lose my faith too, or I could lose my child and hold on to faith like a lifeline. Faith didn't feel strong that day. It felt thin, fragile, but it was still there. I didn't declare victory. I didn't feel peace. I simply said, God, I don't understand you, but I will not leave you. That choice changed everything. God in the SE aliens, E-God, did not rush my healing. He did not remove the pain overnight. What He gave me instead was companionship. I felt Him in small moments, in the quiet after tears, in the strength to get out of bed, in the courage to say my son's name without collapsing. I began reading scripture again, searching for explanations, but for comfort. I discovered a God who wept, a God who knew loss, a God who understood the pain of giving a son. That realization softened something inside me. God wasn't distant from my grief. He was inside it. Learning to live Aggie in healing came slowly. Like dawn, I learned how to smile without guilt. I learned how to laugh without betrayal. I learned that joy and sorrow could exist in the same breath. I joined a grief support group. At first, I listened more than I spoke. Stories different from mine, yet painfully similar, reminded me I wasn't alone. I started volunteering, helping other mothers walking paths they never chose. I discovered that my pain, though unwanted, could still be used. God didn't waste my tears. He transformed them.